Hey guys, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. It's creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast right from your phone and computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to do to make a podcast on one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Aaron Smith Can't Lose. Season 5 on 5/5, 2022. How about that? Didn't really call that, but hey, kind of worked out. It's dang all fives. Anyway, it's good to be back, and I thoroughly enjoyed my little time off. A lot of things I had to take care of, a lot of things that are still going on, but I thank and I support the fans, and I give the little few fans that I do have, and the people that watch the show or listen to the show, wherever they are on either platform, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music. Shout out to First Story for picking me up. I mentioned them in the last season. I believe it was the finale of season 4 that I did switch over to First Story. I'm still using Anchor, and I found out I could use both, so why the fuck not? So shout out to them too. So, as always, I don't really have nothing to, talk about, or I just go from the top of my head. I say what I say, and you listen. So that's how it's gonna go. So, as you all know, I live in New York City. It seems like, say, OK Corral out here. Wild, Wild West. A lot of crime activity, a lot of people getting shot, stabbed, killed, all kind of dumb shit. And it seems to get worse and worse by the day as it is. I don't seem to understand why this is happening, because we have a mayor who was once a police officer, and he should know better to how to handle stuff like this, but apparently he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing either. And that's who I'm talking about, Eric Adams, Mayor Eric Adams, and I don't know what his deal is. They seems like he just talks a good game, walks a good game, and he's very good at that. He missed the press conference, I remember seeing something. I rarely watch Fox News because they're idiots, and they just throw a whole propaganda over, and you just there to just scare older white people and these conservatives to think that the poor white people, black people, poor people in general, that is out to get them. But anyway, the leader of the what's that thing that Black Lives Matter is Hank Newsom guy, whatever the fuck. Not a big fan of them either, but I'll get into that later. He basically said what pretty much I think most people were talking about, that Eric Adams pretty much is a guy who, even though he's black, he said he's a black man in a white face. Now that's a statement to tell. That's interesting. I mean, what? Like, I don't know really how to defend this person, because it seems to me that it doesn't even look like, he's not even doing anything right. And whoever's in his ear, somebody need to tell him, like, hey, yo, you fucking up, man. You've been at this job maybe 3 months, and it seems to be that nothing is going to happen. Like it seems like he's just, like the dog in the carpet, just, dragging his ass along and thinking it's cute or whatever have you. And it seems to me that this gentleman does not give a fuck. And he always wants to smile. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. Don't worry about it. I'm on it. I'm taking care of it. Well, when, motherfucker? When? Please explain to me because I want to know. I'm like Mark Anthony. I need to know. But anyway, it seems like, I moved back here in January, and it was cold back then, so not a lot of action going on back then. But as soon as it started to get to like March, mid-April, that's when you started to know the nonsense came on. And we all know in New York what happened a little bit over a month ago, not too long ago. This idiot got on the train. It was an N train here in New York City and Brooklyn, and decided to shoot a bunch of people and hurt a bunch of people because he's mad at who, Eric Adams, and all these other people that didn't help him, supposedly. This James person, I forget his name. Big old fat black ugly motherfucker. Yeah, him. I can say that. I can say big fat black and ugly because I am black. So if you got a problem with that, whatever. Don't care. So anyway, it doesn't matter what color he is. What he did was dead wrong. And everything that he said, he talked about, red wrong. And the children was hurt. It seemed like every day, like I said, something. But that was a big boy. That was a big thing. And as it gets hotter, and as it gets a little warmer, people start to get stupid. You got a crazy homeless situation out here. I ride the trains every day back and forth to see my woman and help her out and work for her. I'm a caregiver, and I do the best I can with that. And I ride these trains back and forth, and it seems to me that there was supposed to be some kind of action about a plan to help these people. Trains, whenever they feel like coming on, you got these homeless advocate people in there, whenever they decide to show up. But it's really up to these people. But I don't think it's fair that they sleep on the trains and it's alright, and they can go and harass and mess with other people and hold up slots and seats because they're in a bind, but they don't want to get help. Now, I'm not saying also that I feel for these people, but there's a lot of them that I don't, because there's a lot of people that out there that just want to just take up space and don't do shit with themselves and want to bother people and piss people off and try to rob and steal and do all kind of other shit. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but I make sure I have something on me to defend myself. I can go if I can. I can use my hands if I need to. But it seems to me like it has to be like that with everybody. You gotta watch behind your back. You don't know who's who. Even like the people that's supposedly good. The people that, look dressed well and don't look all bummy and don't look homeless. You gotta watch out for them too. And these fucking kids too. These booger sniffers and eaters. that do this crap, and then they want to jump people and rob people. Like, you know, it's crazy. It's just fucking crazy. I want to move. I want to take me and mines with me, cause I can't. It's gonna have to come to that. But I can't really afford to move right now. I can barely afford to live here. So just stick by it, stick to it, do what I can to help myself and the people I love to get through it. Cause this city is crazy. I remember I was on a bus the other day. And some asshole decided that he was gonna rap on the whole ride on a bus. He must have did this for like 4 or 5 stops till he got off. Just rhyming loudly and profusely, and this poor lady was next to him, and I felt so bad for him. Well, not him, fuck him, but I feel so bad for her because she had to sit next to this person and had to hear this crap. And obviously he was high, he was on something, and I'm thinking, it's like, this guy's probably homeless. This guy's probably don't have no place to live, or he's in the shelter, or he's in the street. And you got motherfuckers like that are dangerous, who are stupid and crazy. I was telling my mother the other day that stupid and crazy does not mix. That's dangerous. It seems like it's always something with these people, and it's not going to stop until something gotta give. And this mayor, like I said, is clueless. This commissioner is clueless. She don't know what she's doing. And you know, I know what most people are gonna say. Oh, don't you feel that? You know, we had a black mayor and a black commissioner and all that. Listen, if you ain't doing your job and if you ain't doing it right, I don't give a fucking what color you are. You could be green with polka dots down your back, and if you doing your job, then fine. But if you're not, yeah, I'm gonna call you out on it. I don't give a shit. But it seems like this person, that's all he does is run that mouth and do lip service and go to the Met Gala and dress up in this little outfit talking about end gun violence. Why don't you end gun violence, you punk? Like, my fiance met him one time when the primary was coming out. He was asked a question by her, and she was basically like just blown off by him. I wish I was there. I'd have told him about himself. Looking like a shaved gerbil. But anyway, personally, I never liked the gentleman. When he was in 100 Black Men in Law Enforcement, when he was borough president of Brooklyn, I ain't like him. Hell, now that he's mayor, I really can't stand him. I know we had a choice between him and Curran Sleeva, and where is he now? Where is he at? He mad that he lost? Because he's supposed to be running the Guardian Angels, and you don't see those motherfuckers on the street. Is this like retaliation? Is this what it is for you losing? We know you weren't going to win. Maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself. I don't know. But anyway, we'll be right back. So, we're back, and I'm just gonna not talk about that motherfucker anymore, because he just irritates me, and I know a lot of you feel me. I know, trust me, because a lot of people, he's just whatever. So, what else is going on? Not a whole lot. I see that it tends to be when I try to do a certain thing, or if I want to go about do a certain thing, I have a way of getting things done. It's just a certain thing. I have a strategy. I have a way of going about things. So let me explain. I had a show in February. It's my first time in like maybe 2-3 years. I wanted to do a comedy show. So I reached out to some people, got a place to do the show. This was back in, I believe, late November, early December. And I think it was before Thanksgiving. But I could be wrong. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So, as you do a show like this, you book 20 comedians. And then by a month go by, and the next thing you know, you have 10 comedians, and then by the time you have the show, you might have 2 or 3. Well, that's what happened. So it was originally supposed to be 2 events. It was supposed to be an open mic where I had, wanted to have a mixture of maybe some people that want to try things out and some old faces, some old friends. Now, as a lot of people know, is that, I rub people the wrong way, and that, made them feel some type of way towards me, and it's hard to get books, it's hard to get shows, but I don't differentiate from that. I don't stray away from that, because when I have been cordial with people, when I've been nice with people, and I try to reason with people and meet people in the middle, they have not reached out to the same things to me. So I no longer do that. There's a few people that I tend to talk to or discuss business with as a comedian or to do comedy, because I'm just not with it. There's a lot of selfless people in this business, and it's supposed to be funny. They're about to be funny and laughing and telling jokes. Well, it ain't all roses for the people that don't know. And it seems to me that I don't have it in me anymore to bicker and bitch with these people, because they're a waste of time and a waste of energy anyway. So let's get back to what the show is. I had booked this 2 shows. One was an open mic. The other was supposed to be a show for everybody was saying like, this is going to be it, because I'm done. I don't feel like being bothered with this bullshit. It's not making any money. I'm not getting anywhere. Like I said, these people are just, so full of themselves and just want to be about whatever, and they just don't tend to care. And they're not trying to want to work, with one another. Like I said, my thing is, you don't always gotta be friends. You ain't gotta be civil. You at least be civil, at least cordial. It's about business, about making money. So apparently, I don't make money. But when I was first doing shows, I was making some decent money. I really was. Back in 2018, 2019, I was doing it. And everybody always wanted to come to my show. Let me get on your show, man. I get your show. Can I do your show? It's that. And doing a whole bunch of things for a whole bunch of people. Promos. Posters. You needed some jokes. I wasn't charging people. I wasn't asking for much, because I was just trying to get my foot in the door, and I was just trying to help people. Well, I ain't doing that shit anymore. So it's like I said, when I did this show, and every time I rely on certain people, they end up fucking me. And this is not to be a bigger or being bitching about it. This is just telling what it is. People are unreliable. And if there ain't no money in it, they ain't with it. And if you offer some money, it ain't enough. So my thing is this: don't waste my time, I won't waste yours. So when this one person decided, I believe it had to be a couple days before the event, because it was supposed to be originally in January on the 28th. We had a snowstorm, and it had to be rebooked to the next week, the following week on the 4th, which was the first Friday in February, which was also shitty weather. It was kind of rainy, kind of cold that day. So I'm like, that's no excuse, because if it were up to me, I'd be out in there. I'd be going to anybody's shows. I've been at dive bars. I've been at places where they had 2 or 3 people there, and I've supported my people throughout. But guess what happened when I did my show? Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 people showed up, and that's not including myself. My thing is, that's fine, but don't lie to me and say you're fucking coming. Don't lie to me and saying that you're on your way. Don't lie to me and say that, oh, I'm sick and I'm not sure if I want to do this. Just be real. Be honest with me and tell me you don't want to come. Yes, this was over 2-3 months ago, but I just had to get this off my chest, because for the friends and the family that do watch the show, they need to know what's up, and I just had to just tell it. And it seems to me that, like I said, people are about themselves, and they don't want to be about anything for themselves unless it's by themselves. So you know what? I'm going to do the same thing. Because as far as I'm concerned, I ain't helping nobody with shit. Don't ask me for a motherfucking thing. And I mean that. Because like I said, when the push comes to shove, I'm through. And you're not going to go over on me anymore. I've taken money out of my own pocket to pay people. I have taken people home. People had no place to do things. People when I had my place and they wanted to crash and they had no place to go, I would take them there and they could stay and all that. I ain't doing that shit anymore. It's not happening. It seems like comedy may or may not be for me. I don't know that yet, because I am quite a funny motherfucker. I really think so. But as this business is, and a friend of mine warned me, this is when all the pandemic came back. He warned me. He said, it's bad out here. You shouldn't do it. I should have listened to him. I am sorry, sir. You know who you are. I apologize. I should have listened. But as far as I'm concerned, as far as I think, what I know, that those people that were supposed to come through and then at the last minute decided they wanted to do too, not even a phone call, not a text, nothing. That's fine. I'm all for that, and that's cool. I have no issue with that. But just don't expect me to be bothered with you anymore. And there's an old saying, I don't know who said it, but I thought it was one of the most perfect things to talk about. It said, before you screw me over in life, make sure you never ever need me again. And I'm going to hold that to it. Because I really believe that. I thought that was, I think, really cool to what I'm doing and how I feel about certain things and certain people. And that's just what it is. And that's how it's going to be from now on. I enjoy doing the podcast because it seems like it's a lot better than dealing with a bunch of stupid people all the time. You know, I give a shout out to most of the comedians that I still talk to, still bother with. But Most of them, you know what? You're a bunch of pretentious assholes. And you deserve everything you get, whether it's good or bad. Like, and I wish you well, because I'm not going to be one of people, and because most of you don't give a shit anyway. I'm not going to be one of people like, oh, fuck you, you ain't shit, all that stuff. I mean, to a certain extent, that's how I feel because of what happened with that show. And I am not messing with y'all anymore. But from this point on, I am through. And I wish you guys well, even though most of you won't do the same. And we'll be right back. Now, on a positive note, I didn't want to make this such a negative show. I don't really think it is a negative show. I just think speaking my mind and say what I have to say because, well, that's what I do. But I did get engaged in January. I'm very happy. I just looking forward to that, and I don't know exactly when we're going to get married. We're trying to find a place. It may not be in New York City. That's another thing. It seems like it's always like these rents in the city here. Rents everywhere, but I'm from New York, and many people from here can attest to this, especially when you have a fixed income and you can't really afford shit, especially an apartment. So, um, yeah, I think it'd probably be best that you know I leave New York and I take my people with me because this place is getting crazier by the day. It's always something, and I don't seem to understand it. It's like, you know, about a year ago, you kind of saw that it was going to go downhill because, like I said, a lot of people lost their houses, a lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people lost their lives. It's unfortunate to a pandemic. But this place ain't, it's not really for people anymore like me. And, my fiance and my friends who also going through things and also don't have a lot of money to move. I can't really move right now. So I'm doing my best what I got right here, right now. But yeah, I hope and I pray that everything gets better for everyone, and including myself. But this New York thing is getting tired. But I, like I said, shout out to once again the first story for picking me up. For those people that don't know who First Story is, I may have said it in another show podcast. They're a Chinese-based company, and they have podcasts specifically for people in the Asian American community. And they reached out to me, and I was shocked. And they said they were very impressed with what I talk about and the things I go about. And I know they're very cool. I've tried them out for a month. They're very cool, very nice. It seems like they're trying to help me like grow my podcast and help my podcast. So I'm doing the best with that. Um, big, it's just I just find podcasting easier than stand up. And like I said, I always said this to myself. I've been wanting to do this since I was 5 years old. I've never wanted to do anything else but make people laugh and entertain. And there's a lot of crazy things that have been happening with that. You know, obviously, Will Smith slapping a shot at Chris Rock for talking about Jada. Um, Not a couple days ago, somebody tried to jump Dave Chappelle. Um, and then like a lot of comedians are cause for concern And I can understand that, but my thing is this. Two things. The first thing is you be able to joke about whatever you want to joke about. That's what you should be able to do. Comedy is an escape from reality and the real world, and it takes time away from it, and you get to just go away from your worries and your cares, and just have a good time. And I remember going to, even when I wasn't in the show, I sit back and enjoy other comics and how they make people laugh and how they make the audience laugh. A lot of people, that's been missing for the last couple of years. Um, and with this cancer culture, not cancel, I call it cancer culture because, excuse me, I call it that because that's what it is. It's a disease that needs to be eradicated, needs to be killed because it's hurting the artist. It's hurting the artistry of people who, do this for a living and people who are trying to make a living off of it. It seems like you can't joke about anything. And then, so that on the other hand, people say they stop taking things so seriously. At the end of the day, it is a joke. And we all saw it. I know I did. Um, I was woken up by it because I had to take family to the airport that day of the Academy Awards. Will laughed at first, but Jay gave him a nine roll and he had to go up there and say something. And now it's costing him money. He's banned from the Academy for 10 years, and all these movies are canceled. There's no more Bad Boys 4. There's no more Bright 2, and none of that. All because of he basically got goaded. I think he got goaded into going upside his head. But this is my second point. If you tell a joke and you know it's going to be offensive, and you know that somebody somewhere just might be like, that was some bullshit, or that was not fucked up, be prepared for it. Be prepared to back up your joke, whether it's good or not. And I didn't think it was a very funny joke. I, you know, I don't find Chris Rock funny. I don't think he is. At one point in time, I thought he was. But from the people that have spoken to me and people that have met him have told me very different about him. So, but it's in his right to say that joke. But I guess he wasn't ready for it. I guess he was because he smiled and laughed it off. But his brothers talking about he want to fight him, and his mother said, "Oh, he slapped all of us." I think that's a bunch of crap because you know your brother, you know your child, you know he an asshole, you know he talking all that nonsense. He been talking that for years. He been messing with them for years. It seems to be something a lot more going on between those three that we don't know because he did it a couple of years ago at the awards again, like before all this happened. So as a comedian, as a performer, yes, I stand by you and have no problem saying what you got to say because, like I said, if it's a joke, then it's just me to take it as a joke, and that's what you should do. But also be prepared for the backlash that comes back with it because, unfortunately, we're in this era, this cancer culture, that everybody's offended by everything. And if you're not mad at it, then they're mad at you because you're not mad at what they're saying. And they're not mad. You're not mad because they're not. You're mad. They're mad because you're not mad because they're mad, and it makes no sense at all. Maybe it's a good thing I don't do comedy because, like I said, I'm very brash. I'm very, crude and offensive, and maybe it's a good thing. I don't know, but I would still do it if I had the chance. But you know, then with the Chappelle thing, this guy just bum rushed the stage and tackled him. I don't know why you want to do that. As brolic as Dave has been over the years. Not, I mean, maybe like 10 years ago when he was like, on his Tyrone Bigum's crackhead looking stuff, maybe. But still, like, it's a big dude now. I want to know what you do. And he laughed it off. and security grabbed him up and proceeded to beat the shit out of him, which they should have. And this man is broken up and bruised up because he decided he wanted to do that, and he made a rap about him supposedly. I don't know. I don't care. I don't go into that gossip bullshit. My fiance talks about this whole stuff all the time. But the Kardashian, all that other shit. I only just let her talk about it because I do love her, but I'm not really into it. But I just let her talk about it because it's just some things something when you like love somebody and you care for somebody. You let them, you talk about certain things that may not interest you because you just want to have their attention, and you want to just like, you like to hear them speak. So I like to hear her speak. So I let her talk about that stuff. But anyway, um, after all that happened, after all that went down, they calmed the crowd down. Jamie Foxx was there as well, and Chappelle and Chris Rock. Oh, obviously Chris Rock's everywhere now. He was there because I believe him and Chappelle are friends. And then he made the slick remark: "Is was that Chris? Was that he?" Chris Rock basically said to that person, or to the crowd, I believe, "Was that Will Smith?" And everybody laughed it off. Like, yeah, that's cute. But like, motherfucker, like, I'm starting to think that all this shit is fixed. I don't know. It just doesn't look right. It seems to me that when he got slapped, I thought it was fixed, but who knows? But he was still talking shit about this person. He was still jabbing at this person. All right, my comedy side is like, oh, that's kind of funny, but my other side is like, motherfucker, literally, really, like you still on this shit? But these are all rich people. They got millions and millions of dollars, so they can get away with that shit. If I said something like that, I'd probably be banned for life. And I think I am virtually banned for life because most people will book me, but fuck it, I care. I'll find my way, and I will continue to do what I do with this podcast and comedy down the line, and I will embark on this journey, and I would love for you all to enjoy it with me. So we're going to wrap it up. Like I said, like always, you can catch this podcast on First Story, Anchor FM, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, and wherever fine podcasts are. You can Google Aaron Smith Can't Lose podcast. You can also check out me on Instagram at the Aaron Smith, Twitter at the Aaron Smith, and Facebook at Aaron L. Smith. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Aaron Smith, and I can't lose. And I'll see you next time.